This is my 1993 Dodge D150. I have not started this since April. In my first video clip I made on this channel, you saw it roll in here from underneath, but I have not started it since. I know there has been mice in here. As you can see the evidence right there, and there's a lot more. So we're gonna fire this baby up and we'll make sure that it's running before I do the next step. But we're going to give it a squeeze. And nothing, not even a buzzer sound. This ignition's been giving me problems, but that is definitely not working. Let me check on it. All right, so the battery situation, I think I've resolved it. I had the battery in the truck. I tested it to see if it had any kind of a charge at all, and it read zeros, and I've never seen that before. So I unhooked the terminals, and then I got a reading on the battery. So I asked around, I looked up a few things, and that means that there was some kind of odd draw, and I thought it was a parasitic draw on the battery. Then I realized both of my damn doors are open. So as soon as I tested it, there's an immediate draw on it because it's trying to power at least the dome light or the door ringer or something. So I think I figured it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the battery. It's on a float charger. It's not really charging it. It read about 4.2 or something when I tested it. So I'm going to put it back in here and then close my doors and see if I can get it to jump. All right, so I got the battery back in. Now, that charger says it's a float charger, that it will, and I looked up, will a float charger charge a battery? And it said no, but it must do something because this registered like 3.9. All right, now it's at 11.3. I bet you I could almost start my truck with that. But what I'm gonna do first is hook the terminals back up to this and see if it goes back to zeros. Nope, it's the same thing. My doors are shut, and I guarantee you that was the problem. I'm gonna go ahead and hook up my jump pack to this, and we'll see what happens. Now before, when I hooked this up, it stayed blue, which is in standby, which means it wasn't reading the battery at all. So now it's still blue, but let's see what happens when I hook this up. Now it says you're supposed to start the truck or the vehicle within 30 seconds of hooking this up. We'll see. Oh, went green. Let me go start it. Let's see if the alternator is working. You can still see the, yeah, you can still see it. Oh yeah, alternator's working just fine. Woo! Problem solved. Yes. Now just listen to that thing. Tell me if you hear anything weird on it. I think it sounds great. Yeah, I'm just gonna let this run for a little bit, charge that baby up. Oh, I feel so good about that. That is a big relief that some mouse didn't chew something in here, that my battery was completely shot. That saved me a bunch of trouble right there. All right, that was some fantastic news. This thing runs like a damn top. So I don't have to worry about the battery right now. It does have a date sticker on it of 2019, but like I said, I don't think this has been used very much. But I did kind of brutalize it a little bit by, I mean, I've had to jump it like 6 times, right? So Not recently, but since I've owned this truck. It's been about a year and a half. So great. This thing runs. I don't have to worry about the motor. That is the biggest thing with this guy is I don't have to worry about the motor at all. The transmission works. I've driven it. I drove it from its home to here, and then I had it out on my property and drove it back here in April. It does need things, but not with the motor. So now that the battery crisis has been averted and I can move forward here, I don't want to put in the rest of the floor simply because I got to run wires under this, right? So once this is all set, right, that part's real easy. Radios are cake, right? I've done so many. I'm going to build a speaker box in here. I've got all kinds of stuff going on. But I need to address this. Let me back up just a skosh. Whoop. So he's got the old wedge block in here to hold the window from falling into the door, apparently. So something must be wrong here. I need to address this because I want to switch out the speakers in each one of the doors. That's basically the only speakers in this truck are in the doors. I may add, some speakers. They make the boxes, or I may make them myself, the boxes that go into the nook behind the door. But anyway, I have to address this. So you can obviously see this has been a very long time. That block of wood is very old. It's been here a long time. I mean, look at this. This is all cracked and gnarly and nasty. You can tell he rested his arm here while he drove all the time. So yeah, we need to address this. Let's take this door panel off. Let's assess. I know for a fact that these things are notoriously difficult to work on. So let's get it started. Because that window was partly down for years and water was just getting right in there, just washing this all down. I cannot believe that the doors, see how if you can see in there. Where is it? Right there. So the water did escape out of that, which probably contributed to this whole sill rusting out, because that hole lines up right where there was a massive hole right here that I had to repair. This isn't rust, this is primer. So yeah, that did its job by not rusting out the door, but it rusted the sill completely to hell. But the door's not rotten. Let's just go with that as a win. All right, so the problem is when you crank the window up, now it's going to go up, okay? You can see it in the gap down there. It will go up to a point. And then what there is there's a cog in here and it's grabbing on these teeth. Here, let me turn the light back on. So it's grabbing on the teeth on this. And it gets to a point where it just starts slipping. And it should be within the next crank here. And you'll see it slip right there. Yep. And so I don't know if on this cog there's, this gear that's behind this, if it's missing teeth or what. I'm going to see if I can pull up on the window and see if I can get past that part. Yeah, see right there, it's just free spinning. I mean, it'll stay, it'll hold it. Yeah, not even pulling on this. There's something definitely chewed up in this piece right here. Absolute toast. Whoa. Let's just leave that down before we break something. So what it looks like it's going to have to, and I don't think it has to be this entire scissor piece. I have a feeling it's just this piece. If I could get that, there's 3 bolts. 2 bolts. Let me get my hand out of the way. I'm trying to get the vice grip off of there. Yeah, there's just 2 bolts holding that piece in. I'll have to do some research on replacing, look how loose that is. Not supposed to happen that way. I'll have to do some research, see if I can get just that piece. So the next round of sound deadener came in. It's not the quality of the Modi GT. It's thicker, but lighter, less dense. but it does have the aluminum backing, so they still call it fireproof, fire resistant. So yeah, we have that going for us. And so I'm going to fill in this, the doors, headliner, and this door here, and the kicks right there, the kick panel here and there, well, down there. And yeah, so it is what it is. I'm glad I saved this stuff for the backs and all the rest of it, and the good stuff for the floor, because that's where the bulk of your noise is going to come from. Road noise, exhaust, the whole bit. So moving on, we're going to install this today. Done. All right, so that went on really, really well. It's super sticky. I'm happy with that. Going to do the kick panels next. Driver and passenger side. Get those done. And then we're going to do the headliner, which feels a little squishy. So I'm wondering if there's already padding behind it. And I don't know if it's any good. We're going to find out. So I know you've seen this before, but I'm going to show you that there's sound deadener down here, but there's none up here. Let's see if you can hear a difference. Yeah, that's way hollower. Yeah, that's doing its job. So that's what I wanted. I don't like cabs, especially old trucks, when you get in them and you hear nothing but echo. So, and every ounce of road noise. So this is doing its job. Okay, so I know it's a mess in here, but the floor is done. Back is done, right? And I just got a strip on the headliner. That's all that's needed to sound deaden that a little bit. And I'm not worried about total noise penetration. I am going to have a headliner in here with a pretty thick covering on it. I just want to eliminate a lot of the vibration to make it sound less tinny or like a drum. So that's that. Next step, clean that seat off. Frank is sitting there holding it down. So we need to get that cleaned off and dyed black. And then we carpet this. Whole floor going right up to the edge of the window, you know, back into that nook back there and on this side. And yeah, so big question. Paint the interior black or leave it this like dull smoky gray? I mean, I do like the color and it does go good with black, but I think I want all of it black. Because the headliner is going to be black and I think it looks stupid with that grayish, bluish gray, smoky gray, whatever, pillars, trim all the way around the edges, not black. I think that would look silly. Then I tossed around the idea of leaving just the dash this color and paint everything else black. And I'm not sure I'm sold on that either, because then it looked like it was a dash out of a different vehicle. I don't know, I'm torn. Hey gang, so this is what we got going on. Black interior. It's going to be all black. Everything's going to be black. So I've got that door card out. I'm going to replace the speaker, black the door, black anything that shows white. I did decide to paint the dash. There is black inserts, black, gonna be black. All the trim pieces I've already painted black. All right, so that's the way I'm going to go. I debated on leaving it this, not doing it, because I've also dyed the seat. Okay, we got Frank over here holding it down for me. And that came out spectacular. There's still some dimples here because I had a heavy object on it, but I used that Duplicolor vinyl and plastic dye, and it came out fantastic. So it's a night and day seat. Of course, as soon as that gets warm, that'll smooth right out. There is a hole, right? It did have some wear, but I used that. There's a crack right there too. I did use the vinyl patch, the vinyl glue, and it works perfect. That is not going to spread whatsoever. So this is only just a temporary seat. Now the next thing is I'm going to put this flag as my headliner. So we're gonna see what that looks like. And I will tell you what, I don't know how headliners ever fall. There is so much glue on this, dried glue. Like you see the ridges where the machine sprays the glue on here. I've sanded this and there's still some really rough spots I gotta hit again, right? Especially in the corners here. I did use the aluminized tape to bolster some of these that cracked. This one broke off. I'll tape this one. It'll glue right over. But that stuff is the best tape ever. It is super sticky and super strong. So anyway, we're going to lay this flag out. We're going to see what it looks like. All right, essentially that's what it's going to look like. All right, I just really like this style of the flag. I am going to scooch it that way a little bit so you have the whole word in there. It just barely misses this, but the trim will cover that. Same thing on that side. It'll just barely miss. But I really like this style. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and glue this down. Going to use this adhesive. It's a spray adhesive, obviously. And I've used this before. This is from Harbor Freight. And we're just going to soak it on. I'm not doing both sides. I'm not going to spray the flag and the back, let them dry, and then stick them together. I think this is more than enough. This is really super thin material. I think that is going to be more than enough to spray the headliner, and then stick the flag to it. So that's what we got going on today. Well, that came out basically like I expected it to be. Every video I've ever watched on somebody doing a headliner with thin material like this has always had some wrinkles and always had some bubbles. And I'm all right with that. All right, you have to manage your expectations. I'm no pro at this. This is the first time I've ever glued down a headliner before. I've glued carpet and whatnot down, but never something like this, never something this thin. And I love how it came out. I'm totally happy with this. Right? So this, like I said, that's my truck, okay? 93 Dodge D150. This is what that's going in. And I'm all right with how this looks. Actually, I'm quite pleased. And I don't mind trim enough. I don't normally like to deface a flag, but this isn't, obviously not a real flag. So I will just, go ahead and trim that all the way around. And we're going to install it. But, yeah, I'm happy with this. Well, it's another day, and this is what we're going to do. So I've got all my trim pieces painted, aside of that one and the dash. I've got the door cards way over there. I'm sure you can see them under the mezzanine. Door panels are done. I just need to do the dash, right? And that one piece hanging there because it's wrapped around the seatbelt. So that's what we got going on, and then I'm going to get this video out. New things that I did do, all right? So I took this door panel out because I need to replace the window crank, right? That's shot. This, not supposed to do that. I did spray this black because this is the color the truck is going to be. I did spray the door black everywhere that the door panel does not cover. I cleaned all this up in here. I know you can't see it well. I can't seem to find my shop light. Yeah, there's a good shot of my door panels. I am now currently on the hunt for my shop light. Found my shop light. So yeah, I've painted all in there. I do need to change out the door pins, but I can still smash those out. No big deal. So yeah, that's what we got going on today. And we're going to get the trim pieces on. I've got the headliner in. Well, it's only tacked in. I need the rest of the trim to hold it up all the way. So then once we get the dash painted, I can put the carpet in. It's good stuff. All right, so it's now time to put the trim back in. I've got that goes over the windshield right here. But the dash and the steering wheel. So I sprayed all this. Looks freaking brand new. The dash looks incredible. All right, now I know the lighting in here sucks because I'm usually using that guy. But you'll get a good look at this as we go. But I think it came out fantastic. It looks brand new. And yeah, so painted all my screws. Got this trim piece in. Oh, and I painted that guy too in the corner. So I'm going to put all the trim pieces in here. I'll show you what it looks like after. Alrighty, so I took off all the masking. The dash just looks incredible. I am so in love with this. This came out so nice. So I couldn't put that kick panel back in because I got to put the carpet in. That covers up that edge of the carpet. But I did get that corner piece in. The trim all at the top. That looks really nice. I've still got to cut out that section right there for the dome light, so that's why it's a little puckery. And I'm going to flip it around and show you the other side. And that's the other side. And I kept the screws a little bit loose because I still got to put the door gasket in. But I think this looks just absolutely tremendous. I do have the covers for this. The guy I bought it from said somebody tried to break into this and drive away with it. But, I mean, like, really? Let me zoom out. Like, this is something that somebody wanted to steal. I think he broke it himself, to be perfectly honest with you. But anyway, that's what we have today. Carpet next, and the seat goes in, and I think that'll wrap up the interior. And then we can move on. Now, of course, I do want to swap out the radio and run the cables under the floor. I may show that, I may not, but that's basically the next step, is to install the carpet and the door gaskets in the inside. We'll put the seat back, of course, and the inside is done as far as I'm concerned. So let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, comment. See ya.